Assalamu alaikum. Dear students, today we will discuss the last topic, that is locomotion, from chapter support and movement. Locomotion is movement from one place to another, and we have observed that different animals move in different ways by using different organs according to their habitat and according to their mode of life. We will discuss locomotion in unicellular organism, that is protozoans, and in multicellular organism as well. But first we will discuss locomotion in unicellular organism, and the example is locomotion in amoeba. The locomotion in amoeba is also called as amoeboid movement, which is performed or brought about by pseudopodia. What is pseudopodia? Pseudopodia are temporarily formed finger-like projections of cytoplasm. To understand the movement in amoeba, a soul gel theory was proposed by Hyman in 1917, which explains that the ectoplasm of amoeba is made up of plasma gel, which is semi-solid gelatinous material, while the endoplasm is made up of plasma soul, which is a fluid-like material. When amoeba moves, it projects the pseudopodia or finger-like projections of cytoplasm in a forward direction, which ruptures the ectoplasm or plasma gel, and after that the endoplasm or plasma soul enters into that pseudopodia, which moves the animal in forward direction. Here is a small video to explain the locomotion in amoeba. Here you can see these pseudopodia projecting in forward direction, and the plasma soul enters into these projections. You can see the animals move in the forward direction because of this phenomena. Now, locomotion in paramecium, the second example from unicellular organisms. The movement is called as ciliary movement because of the presence of cilia. This movement is performed by cilia. What are cilia? Cilia are short thread-like extensions again of plasma membrane, the outer membrane, while the beating of cilia brought about locomotion in paramecium, and this beating occurs in two different strokes, which are powerful backstrokes and recovery strokes. The powerful backstrokes, which moves paramecium in the forward direction, what happens in this kind of stroke? In this stroke, the cilia becomes rigid and bent backward, right, which propels the animal in the forward direction, while in the recovery stroke the cilia becomes softer and returns to its original position, and which offers the least resistance to water, right. And as a result of these two strokes, the body pushes itself forward. Here is a very interesting fact about the paramecium, that is, paramecium can pass through a narrow passage by contracting its protoplasm, and later it resumes its normal shape. Here is a video to explain the movement and the beating of the cilia. You can see here the beating of cilia, which is in the backward direction, and it moves the animal in the forward direction. While if we want to move backward, the cilia will do the recovery stroke. Now, locomotion in euglena is called as flagellary movement. Why? Because it is performed by flagella. What are flagella? Flagella are structurally and functionally similar to cilia, but unlike cilia, flagella are few, if not single, which means the euglena have only a single flagella or two. The movement is whip-like. The flagella moves just like a whip, and this whip-like movement and alternate right and left power strokes and recovery strokes makes euglena move forward. Now, locomotion in animalia or the multicellular organisms, we will take the example of jellyfish. The locomotion in jellyfish resembles with the jet propulsion effect. And what is jet propulsion effect? you know that a jet or the aircraft, it flies because of the propulsion of highly speed of high speed of the gas or liquid with jet from the aircraft, and it moves the aircraft in forward direction. Similarly, in jellyfish, the water is expelled out from the mouth by contraction in muscle cells, and this ejection of the water from the mouth makes the jellyfish move in jerk in opposite direction of the water. If the water is coming out from the mouth right here, the jellyfish will move in opposite direction in jerks. Locomotion in earthworm. If you remember that earthworm has hydrostatic skeleton, you have studied in your previous class, and it lives on land. That's why it is adapted to move in soil. Movement takes place by the help of circulatory muscles, longitudinal muscles, and the hydrostatic skeleton that earthworm have. The contraction of circulatory muscles basically lengthens or elongates the body of the earthworm, while the contraction of longitudinal muscles shortens the body. And because of these contractions, the body fluid or hydrostatic skeleton compressed so that the earthworm crawls. In addition to these phenomena, bristles or setae are also present, which helps earthworm to take grip of the soil. Now the locomotion in a snail, if you remember, this is the example of phylum Mollusca. Snail is the example of phylum Mollusca. The locomotion in a snail is occurred or performed by foot. What is foot? Foot is a specialized organ present in mollusk. The contraction of muscles which are present underside of the foot, these muscles present in the underside of the foot helps snail in movement. Contraction are caused by again the hydrostatic pressure of the body fluid. It also has a hydrostatic skeleton. Waves of contractions in the muscles comes from front and goes to the rear or the side of the body, which pushes the snail in forward direction. There is a slimy secretion produced by mucus gland. Glands are present in front of the foot, and this helps the snail slip forward. If you have noticed, we always see a shining track left by a moving snail. That is because of the slimy secretion produced by mucus glands. Now, locomotion is in starfish. Starfish belongs to phylum Echinodermata, and they have water vascular system, if you remember. So water enters through the central disc, which is known as madreporite, and the water passes from this central disc into the ring canals from the central disc into the ring canal, and from the ring canal it enters into the radial canals, which are present in each arm. These are the radial canals. At the side of these canals, the tube feet are present along the each radial canal in large number. If you can see these white spots, these are the tube feet present. The upper part of a tube foot is bulb-like, which is called as ampulla, which you cannot see here. It is inside of the body, while the bottom part is sucker. These are the sucker you can see in the white dots. These are the sucker, the bottom part of the tube foot. Tube foot is hollow and muscular structure. As it is hollow, when the water enters into the canal, it comes into the ampulla, and the ampulla muscles present in ampulla contracts, and the water enters into the sucker, and it becomes a vacuum, act as a vacuum, and attaches the starfish to the rock or the substratum. When the muscles present in sucker contracts, the water pushes back into the ampulla, and the starfish releases the that substratum or the rock to move in the forward direction. Now, locomotion in cockroach. Cockroach belongs to phylum Arthropoda. And if you remember, arthropods have exoskeletal system of jointed legs. So the movement in cockroach performed by muscles and exoskeletal system of jointed legs. They have antagonistic muscles. We have studied in detail what are antagonistic muscles. Remember, flexor and extensor, which are present at joints, and the two types of muscles make the movement in opposite direction. And because of these antagonistic muscles, the appendages move and animal also move because of these muscles, right? Swift and fast, which means quick and fast movement of arthropods, allows them to catch a prey and escape from a predator. This is the reason behind their widespread distribution. We know that insects, which also belongs to arthropods, are widely distributed in this world. Cockroach, like many other insects, have wings for flight, and obviously this will enhances their mobility. They can walk and they can fly as well. Now, the locomotion in vertebrates, they have the most advanced system of locomotion, and it is performed by the interaction of muscular and skeletal systems, right? All vertebrates have same basic skeletal plan. However, it is modified according to their habitat and mode of locomotion. If we take the example of fishes, we can see that they have these modified structure which are called as fins. They swim by the help of these fins, and they have tail for the balance and direction of the movement in water, right? If we talk about the first land vertebrates that came from water on the land, they have forelimbs and hind limbs, and with webbed hind limbs, because this allow them in swimming, while these forelimbs and hind limbs help them while they walk on the land. If we talk about the successful land vertebrates, which are the reptiles, reptiles have most advanced structure and muscles as in contrast to the amphibians, right? They have advanced skeleton which helps them walk and run on the ground. If we talk about humans and apes, they use only their hind limbs for walking and running, so they become bipedal, and their forelimbs become free. As we can see, we walk on our legs only, and our forelimbs, our arms are free. If we talk about the birds, they have the highly advanced type of locomotion. Why? Because they can fly. Their forelimbs are modified into wings, which are used for flight.